I'm Delana Reeves. I work for the Lake Stevens Transportation Department. We service Lake Stevens and Granite Falls. I've been with the district here. This is the start of my third year, so I started in August 2.5 years ago. We have a unique situation on our south end where we have our Caballero Mid-High School, which is just off of 20th, which feeds into the Trestle going into Everett. So we have a huge abundance of traffic backups, especially on days where the weather is inclement. Parents are continually driving their students to school, so we have a lot of parents that drive in. We've had to start a lot of our routes early. We have routes that are starting at 6 o'clock to go out and pick those students up. Our earliest student that gets on is at 6:15 in the morning. So we've had to back up, start Caballero sooner so that we can get out for our high school and middle school routes to get those students to school on time. I don't know if I have actual days, but I would say at least a couple days a week we're running late going into Caballero. We have about 23 large buses that go onto Cav and 3 small buses. So that's a lot of buses going down Highway 9 and then turning onto 20th that heads down into the Trestle to try to get all those kids to school on time, along with all the other regular motorists that are going. So I would say at least 2 times a week we're running late. Sometimes it's been as many as 20 minutes. If the weather is really inclement, whether there's an accident or a disabled car, that backs us up. So 20 minutes is a long time. And there's usually about a 10 to 15 minute window of we arrive at the school ahead of the bell time. But if we're running 20 minutes, those kids have missed the first 10 minutes of their classroom time. Yes, we do get parents that, why are my kids getting picked up so early? And we all know that high school kids, middle school kids, they need their sleep, but they're not getting it. So when they're having to get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to get a 6 o'clock bus, that's hard. And it's hard for parents. So we are working, the transportation department, with the school district on trying to alleviate some of the congestion, because we know it's going to be just years, possibly decades, before this problem is fixed, and there is so much growth happening within the area. So we're doing our part by setting up our Caballero Mid-High satellite station for our buses so that we can have a section over there that we house buses and they start their routes from that area. What I've noticed through all these years of being in transportation, it's difficult because we can see that the building's happening. You know it's coming, but it feels like the infrastructure is never put in place before the building starts. They know that this is going to clog up the roads. It's going to cause delays. It's going to cause overcrowding, no matter where it's at. But the infrastructure is never put in place in time. It seems like we have to go through these horrible bumps and bruises and to get to what we need. It's sad that we can't be more proactive and before thinking and get it all put together before we get to where we need band-aids after band-aids after band-aids before we actually get the real solution.